Here's a question that came across the transom. It had to do with a 2-week sprint where the engineers were going through a massive code refactoring on one of their major modules. One of the quality engineers was wondering if the development team was being ineffective or inefficient. Greetings, I'm Dr. Will, and welcome to Dr. Will's Software Quality channel, where we help raise the quality of the software being written today. Real life is often messy, and promises of agility in a development process sometimes suffer from the lack of process or project management. But doesn't management make things less agile? If you've already subscribed to the channel, well, thank you. And if you'd like to, then just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when new content becomes available. So the question was characterized as one of constant refactoring of code. And the question went like this. We're working on a 2-week sprint that went through a massive code refactoring of one of the major modules. And the developers' justifications for that were that at the time of development, they didn't know how to develop it, and in order to make the code better for future development. After the testing of the refactoring was complete, one of the engineers picked up an issue from the backlog and went ahead and did the development on that and presented it to the testers to retest that part of the system. Unsurprisingly, the tester asked, why wasn't this done earlier with the other work that was related to it? So the actual question was, were they correct in assessing the development team as being ineffective and inefficient? Okay, so the question posed was one of constant refactoring, but it didn't sound like that. So the first question is whether it was in fact a chronic problem or an acute problem. So whether they were constantly refactoring the code or there was just one big major refactoring of the code. Now, if the major refactoring is necessary, and it becomes necessary from time to time, and both of the rationales presented seem to warrant it, that doesn't make the refactoring constant unless it occurs from sprint to sprint to sprint to sprint ad infinitum. Now, if there's constant refactoring of the code, then there's a serious project or engineering management breakdown. That means that the quality problem is far removed from testing, and it really has to do with the quality of the software management rather than the quality of the code. In the case where it's a single massive refactoring, leaving major issues lying around to be picked up late in the sprint and then worked on suggests that there's a different software engineering management or project management problem. And that is a problem of the lack of good estimates on what it's going to take to get the different parts of the system done. In our consulting practice, we've seen projects running with no estimates at all. Just a bunch of issues laying around, being picked up, put on sprints, being worked on, and the whole body of work that was chosen for that sprint, only part of it was ever completed. The problem is, if you don't have any estimates, how do you know or how can you guess how many user stories or issues can be resolved or worked on during the course of a sprint? How do you know how much you can get done if you don't know what it's going to take? The estimation of the complexity of software work is notoriously difficult. New greenfield development is going to stress an organization because you're doing things you've never done before. It often has so many unknowns that it seems impossible to estimate. My very first instructor in computer science had a rule of thumb, seems to work here. First of all, take your initial impression of how much effort it's going to take to get something done. Okay, multiply that by 2. Increase the order of magnitude by a unit, and that's your estimate. So if your first thought is it's going to take 4 hours to do the work, take your 4, multiply by 2, you get 8, and go from hours to days, and now it's going to take 8 days of effort, not 4 hours. Seems extreme, but you never know. It is entirely appropriate for a manager or a customer to ask, how much effort is it going to take to get something done? How long is it going to take to do it? Frankly, if you don't have some reasonably confident answer to those questions, you probably shouldn't proceed. This channel is dedicated to quality, especially software quality. So if you'd like more content like this, then please subscribe and hit the button to be notified of new content when it becomes available. That's it for me, for you for now. Hope you have a great day or week ahead. I'll be seeing you. Bye.